The high-profile racketeering and sex trafficking trial involving Sean Diddy Combs has captivated audiences across the legal, music, and news industries. As the proceedings draw to a close, former federal prosecutor Neama Rahmani offers a critical outside perspective on the prosecution's case. His insights provide a valuable lens through which to understand the complex legal arguments presented. Rahmani believes the prosecution has presented sufficient evidence to secure a conviction on several key charges. This assessment comes after 6 weeks of intense, often emotional, and explicitly graphic testimony. Over 30 witnesses took the stand, detailing a wide array of alleged illicit activities. The trial's evidentiary phase has concluded, and closing arguments are now imminent. Following these final statements, the jury will begin deliberations, tasked with weighing the extensive evidence and reaching a verdict. The outcome will undoubtedly have significant implications for all parties involved and for the broader entertainment industry. Among the various charges leveled against Sean Combs, Rahmani identifies the prostitution charge as particularly strong. He considers this count to be in the bag for the prosecution, indicating a high degree of certainty regarding a conviction. The evidence presented appears to be overwhelmingly compelling on this specific point. A key component of the prostitution charge involves the documented payment of entertainers. Testimony and financial records reportedly demonstrated a clear pattern of remuneration for sexual services. This direct evidence forms a robust foundation for the prosecution's argument. Furthermore, the evidence established the interstate travel of these entertainers. This detail is crucial for federal jurisdiction, demonstrating that the alleged activities cross state lines. The movement of individuals for the purpose of prostitution strengthens the federal case significantly. The prosecution successfully established a clear interstate nexus for the prostitution charge. This legal requirement ensures that the federal government has the authority to prosecute the alleged crimes. The combination of payments and interstate movement creates a formidable case on this count. Rahmani also believes the prosecution has likely proven the racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations, or ICO, charge. This is a broad and powerful statute designed to combat organized crime. Its application in this case suggests a pattern of criminal activity rather than isolated incidents. Crucially, the RICO charge can succeed, even if the more challenging sex trafficking charge ultimately fails. This distinction highlights the multifaceted nature of the prosecution's strategy. A conviction on RICO does not solely depend on proving sex trafficking. Evidence presented throughout the trial suggests the existence of a criminal enterprise headed by Combs. This enterprise is a fundamental element of a RICO conviction, requiring proof of an ongoing, structured group engaged in illegal activities. The prosecution aimed to demonstrate that Combs orchestrated and benefited from this alleged organization. Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs' long-standing music and entertainment company, has been identified as this criminal enterprise. The prosecution's theory posits that the company was not merely a legitimate business, but also served as a vehicle for illicit operations. This connection is central to the RICO allegations. A pattern of racketeering activity is required for a RICO conviction. This means demonstrating at least 2 related predicate acts within a 10-year period. The prosecution must show a continuity of criminal conduct, not just isolated offenses. This pattern can include various illegal activities beyond sex trafficking. RICO is designed to encompass a wide range of offenses, allowing prosecutors to build a comprehensive case. The breadth of potential predicate acts makes RICO a versatile tool for combating organized crime. Examples of other illegal activities, cited as potential components of the pattern, include drug trafficking. Testimony and evidence reportedly detailed instances of drug distribution and use within Combs' alleged enterprise. This could serve as a predicate act for the RICO charge. Extortion, such as the alleged shaking down of Regina Ventura, is cited as another potential activity. This involves obtaining money or property through threats or intimidation. If proven, such acts would further solidify the pattern of racketeering. Bribery, like paying for hotel surveillance video, is another example of a potential predicate act. This involves offering or accepting something of value to influence an action. Such actions could demonstrate an effort to conceal or facilitate criminal behavior. Obstruction of justice is a possible component of the pattern of racketeering activity. This involves interfering with legal proceedings or investigations. Any attempts to impede justice would contribute to the overall RICO narrative. Witness intimidation is also mentioned as a potential element of the pattern. Threats or coercion against individuals who might provide testimony could be considered a racketeering act. This would further illustrate the alleged enterprise's efforts to maintain control and avoid accountability. Rahmani identifies sex trafficking as the most challenging charge for the prosecution to prove. This particular count carries significant legal and societal weight, but its evidentiary requirements can be complex. The nuances of consent and coercion often present hurdles for prosecutors. The willing participant aspect presents a significant hurdle for the prosecution in proving sex trafficking. Unlike prostitution, sex trafficking requires proof of force, fraud, or coercion. If individuals are perceived as willingly engaging in sexual acts, it complicates the trafficking claim. Emails and videos presented during the trial suggested that some women, including Cassie and Jane, appeared to be willing participants. This evidence could be interpreted by the defense as undermining the coercion element necessary for a sex trafficking conviction. The jury will need to carefully consider the context of these interactions. Rahmani draws parallels to the Harvey Weinstein case, where victims maintaining relationships with the accused made convictions difficult. In such scenarios, the defense often argues that the relationships were consensual, even if exploitative. This dynamic can create ambiguity for jurors. He anticipates the jury may struggle to convict on this count, potentially leading to a hung jury or a not guilty verdict. The high bar for proving coercion, especially when some interactions might appear consensual, could create reasonable doubt. This makes sex trafficking the most precarious charge for the prosecution. Rahmani points out several strategic weaknesses in the prosecution's approach, particularly regarding witness selection. These perceived omissions could impact the overall strength of the case, especially concerning the broader RICO allegations. The absence of certain key figures is notable. Specifically, Rahmani highlights the prosecution's failure to call Christina Coram, Combs's former chief of staff, and Damian D-Rock Butler, his former bodyguard. These individuals were frequently mentioned throughout the trial and in the indictment. Their close proximity to Combs suggests they could have offered crucial testimony. Rahmani suggests these individuals could have been charged as co-conspirators and potentially flipped against Combs. Offering immunity or a plea deal in exchange for testimony is a common prosecutorial tactic. Their direct involvement could have provided insider details. Their absence, according to Rahmani, weakens the RICO charge against Combs. Without their direct testimony, the prosecution might have relied more heavily on circumstantial evidence or the testimony of less central figures. This could leave gaps in the narrative of the alleged criminal enterprise. The absence of a third ex-girlfriend, Gina, who was frequently mentioned, also poses a challenge for the prosecution to prove related crimes. Her testimony could have corroborated other accounts or provided new details. The lack of her direct input might leave certain allegations less substantiated. Despite these challenges and perceived weaknesses, Rahmani believes the testimony of personal assistants provides sufficient evidence to prove RICO. These individuals often have intimate knowledge of an individual's daily operations and directives. Their accounts can be highly persuasive to a jury. The personal assistants detailed the coordination of various illegal activities. Their testimony reportedly included specific instructions and observations regarding illicit operations. This direct insight into the alleged enterprise's functioning is critical for a RICO conviction. Examples of these coordinated activities include buying drugs and setting up freak-offs. Such detailed accounts from individuals directly involved in the logistics of these events can paint a vivid picture for the jury. This type of testimony directly supports the existence of a pattern of racketeering activity. Rahmani's analysis suggests that even with the difficulties surrounding the sex trafficking charge and the absence of certain witnesses, the prosecution has built a strong enough foundation for RICO. The cumulative weight of the personal assistant's testimony, detailing a consistent pattern of illicit coordination, could be enough to secure a conviction on this broad charge. The jury's deliberations will ultimately determine the outcome of this complex and closely watched trial. Stay tuned for more updates. Like, share and subscribe to OSNAP for more celebrity news and gossip.